the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about 10 things you should know before buying your very first DSLR. I'm like Neistat. I know everything about everything there is to know, but I'm not Neistat. I am Jack, and I don't know everything, but I think you can trust me on what I'm about to say, because I've had my DSLR for a while, and as you can see, I'm getting like okay at best quality footage, so you can totally trust me. Okay then, so tip numero uno, this is in no particular order except that it's 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. It's a paradox right there. Anyways, okay, so order number one, this isn't a restaurant. Numero one is, you gotta remember that it's not about the body, it's about the lenses. So if you're looking for not buying like a kit lens, if you wanna get a lens instead, which by the way, I recommend you start with the kit lens, but if you're not, you're better off buying an expensive lens and a not so expensive body. I would say, I saw a video from Digital Rev, you know, they did a 550D, which is a terrible camera. It's this camera, but 3 generations older. It's the T2i, as it's called here in the States or whatever, you know. You got that, the Pro lens, and that looked like okay. But then if they took like a big fancy body and put like a stupid like kit lens on there, it looked terrible, you know? So I always recommend you have a better lens than body. So a lot of times you're thinking, why am I putting a $700 lens on a $500 body? Well, if you think about it a different way, you know, it's like the same thing. Why are you putting the $700 body on the $100 lens? It's the same idea as why are you putting the $700 lens on the $100 body, you know? But you're better off with image quality getting the $100 body and the $700 lens. That's a bit of a little bit of exaggeration there. Not all lenses are $700, and I don't know if you can get a DSLR body from $100 that even works. But you get what I mean. Numero dos. You gotta have good audio quality. I'm sorry, but the audio in this kind of DSLR, any kind of DSLR really, is just terrible. Here, I'll unplug my mic. Listen to that. That's just sad. It sounds terrible. Now, I actually own a Rode Video Mic Go, which is not the premier model in any way, but it's okay. It's not bad. I like it. Sometimes it has a couple of little issues, but it's almost always fine. Let me plug it back in here. Speaking of which, tip number 3, take off the little door if you're gonna use a mic. This is optional, only if you're gonna use a mic, but if you're using a mic, take off the little door, you know, because then when you're plugging in your mic, it's easy. It's just the little door, you have to pry it open and put it in. It's completely unnecessary. As Casey Neistat would say, it's just one more step before you can hit record, and you want this to be the simplest thing possible. Tip number 4, get a Gorilla Pod. These things are awesome. You can flex it into whatever you want. I'd recommend getting the ball head with it too, or you can make it into like this great like vlogging setup here, or you can make it into a tripod, so it doesn't always have to be on the ground. It can really hook onto anything. You can hook onto like a pole like this, and then you can just move the ball head like that, and then get like a normal shot like that. But who knows? You can basically do anything with a Gorilla Pod. It's just one of the most flexible, versatile things you could possibly have, and I absolutely love it for vlogging. It is the ultimate setup right here. Oh, I think there's like leftover fart in this room from yesterday. Oh, it's like I'm the only one in this room, but no one farted, so no one must have farted, but it smells terrible. Ew. Okay, tip number 5. You need good lighting. I'm sorry, but in a regular day with a regular DSLR, you might pick up the DSLR and think, okay, this is $900. It's gotta look amazing. And you bring it out in the outside and it's this grainy piece of, okay? You need lighting. Right here, I actually have a lamp pointing towards this white table that bounces up and hits me in the face. Then I have a light right here. It's just a normal clamp light with a spotlight inside of it that points towards the ceiling, that bounces down and lights me up, gets the background, gets everything. It all looks okay. And it's more than enough. It's good enough for me. So, but lighting is really important. You shouldn't just pick up the DSLR and immediately think, I'm done. I spent $900. I'm done. You're better off getting a $400 DSLR and getting good lights and a gorilla pod and a mic and all that other stuff that you're gonna need. Then the video is gonna look a lot better than buying like a great $900 DSLR and buying none of that stuff with it. By the way, in case you're wondering, this is, I wanted to write this on my hand because it's a permission slip that I need to turn in for school, and just. Tip number 6! That 6th tip is when you're vlogging. Don't look at the screen, look at the lens. I used to struggle with that so much, and I still struggle with it a little. But even in this kind of situation, can you see how I'm looking at the screen right now that's popping out? That's terrible. You do not want to look at the screen. Looking at the screen is like the same as imagine talking to someone and having them talk to you like this the whole time. That would just be terrible. Imagine that your friend talked to you with no eye contact, like this. You weren't looking at them. Now I'm looking at you. It looks so much better. So especially when you're vlogging and the camera's this far away from you, it looks a lot better to be looking at the lens, not at the screen popping out. A good incentive to not have to look at it is just to not pop out the screen. That's what I do sometimes because I know that I'm gonna want to look at the screen. So I just don't pop out the screen and then I'm so much better. Tip number 7! Yeah, we're on 7, right? If we're not, I'll change it in editing. Who knows? Editing magic. You don't need a good editing software. I mean, you should have one, and you should do good editing, but you don't really need, this one isn't really specific to DSLR or any camera, you don't really need a great editing software. If your footage looks amazing, if it's edited correctly, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be editing. I literally use iMovie. And what's also nice about using iMovie is people come up to me some days and they're like, hey Jack, so your editing software, it's amazing. What do you use? And I'm like, iMovie. And they're like, iMovie! Because people think it's just the regular home movie editing software, and it can really do so much more. So I really recommend you just use iMovie or Windows Movie Maker or whatever's already on your computer. You're better off buying a DSLR that costs $300 more. Like, for example, rather than buying a T3i, buying maybe a T6s, and then using iMovie, then getting like a 550D or a T2i and using Final Cut Pro. You know, you can't, when the viewers watch your videos, they can't really tell. And be honest, like, you couldn't tell I was using iMovie until I just told you. Or if you already knew, it's pretty hard to tell. The only way you can tell though is if you're looking at like a montage and the photos have that stock zoom where it goes up and then it goes down and it just looks terrible. But if you're just using the iMovie movie feature, it's fine. It has everything you need as a vlogger, as a video maker, it's fine. I don't need any of the other stuff that's like a little bit more professional. Plus, Final Cut Pro wasn't targeted towards the kind of person like me. It's targeted to someone who does skits or something like that, and they really need special effects and blah, and blah, and blah, and I just don't need that. Watch my vlogs. I just don't need it, you know? Tip number 8, if you're gonna vlog, you need a wide lens. You don't need it, but it's really helpful. So, again, you don't need it, but I just feel like without it, your vlogs are just kind of but they're just not great, okay? If you watch some of my older vlogs, I use the 18 to 55 millimeter lens, which by the way is a great lens to start out with. I'll talk a little bit more about that next, but if you're gonna vlog, it's much better to use a wide angle lens. This is a wide angle lens. This is a 10 to 18 millimeter, shooting at 16 millimeters. It can go out to 10. It's insane. I'll zoom out to 10 just to show you guys. It's so wide and it's perfect for vlogging because I only hold the camera like this far away from my face, but yet it looks like everything is just so wide. You can watch my new lens vlog. I probably will forget to link it here because I'll be too lazy, but you can watch my new lens vlog where I get the 10 to 18 millimeter that I have. It's great. It's awesome. Really recommend it. No joke, it's a great lens. Great upgrade from the 18 to 55 millimeter lens as a vlogger. But if you're not a vlogger, again, you might want an extra zoom lens. But I'm just telling you right now, if you're gonna vlog, you probably want to invest in a wide angle lens. But it's up to you, and again, it's more about the story than the image quality or the editing software or whatever you happen to have. It's always about the story, as Casey Neistat would say. I think it's about 60-40 story gear, but I talked a little bit more about this in my Black Friday video, so let's zoom back in and go into tip 9. Tip 9 is not as important as really any of the other tips, but tip 9 is really just stick with the 18 to 55 millimeter lens, the ones that it comes with. You can get the 18 to 135, I actually recommend that a little bit more, but when you're first starting out, I would definitely say stick to the 18 to 55 or the 18 to 135 or whatever the kit lens it comes with is, because I gotta say, for the price and for that it comes with it, it's honestly not that bad. The kit lens is actually fine. I was saying before, you should use a 10 to 18 millimeter lens or a 10 to 22 or a 16 or something like that that's just a little bit wider for, maybe vlogging or stuff like that. But when you're first starting out, the 18 to 55 can really do anything you need it to do. It can't do anything particularly well. Here, I'll get it out right now. This is my 18 to 55 millimeter lens. And again, it can do pretty much anything you need it, but it can't do anything particularly well. It can get wide shots, but it can only go out to 18 millimeters, which is like just wide enough to be considered not really telephoto and not really wide. It's just like very average, but it's like wide enough that you should be fine, but it's not great. It can zoom into 55 millimeters, which is just barely telephoto. You can just barely get a macro. I would say it's like, again, fine, but not great. You can get a blurred background, but you can't exactly do like a bokeh background. Imagine this background. One day I want to do this. Imagine this background with the X with these Christmas lights turning bokeh. Me being in focus and the background being bokeh. That would honestly be awesome, but you definitely can't do that with this lens. You're on the edge. You can kind of get a blurry background if you'd like, but for vlogging, again, you don't really want a blurring background because sometimes things go on behind you. Then let's talk about autofocus. It's okay, it has autofocus, which is great, but again, it's fine, but not great. And there's a million other features you could always want on a lens, and it can really do any of them. It can do most of the average millimeter lenses you're gonna want, and it can really do anything you probably need it to do, but again, fine, but not great. But again, great lens to start with, and this lens is a great upgrade from this if you're gonna vlog. And if you're not vlogging and you're just making videos, you might want to use maybe a 50 millimeter or a 24 millimeter. That one's great for YouTube. My last tip is, in my opinion, the most important, and it's to have fun with it. Honestly, you're spending so much money on this camera, but have fun with it. Don't just shoot like boring videos that you don't like making, grumpy. Go out, shoot a real video with it. If you're gonna pay the money for one of these, you might as well. But what I'm trying to say is just go out and have fun with this. You have this new big camera that you're probably gonna impress your friends with. Go out, just shoot a video, shoot a fun movie, film, video, do a fun thing. Just have fun with it. Don't let it sit around in your house and never use it, because it has so much potential. Expand your things. Sometimes I do these kind of videos, sometimes I do vlogs. And finally, if there had to be a tip 11, it would be give a like, give a comment, type it out. And one more thing, I had tip 13. Sorry guys, I know I shouted out Austin Christopher the other day. I shouted out MJJB Productions. I shouted out Caden. I shouted out Brady. I'll shout out Ian Madicow, who I haven't done in a while. Big Blue 1036, follow him. I won't link it because I'll forget, but he'll comment probably because I'll probably see this video. I know there's a couple more of you who have put comments in the comment section that are like, can you shout me out too? I'm sorry. I just feel like if I start shouting out some people, everyone's gonna want to shout out. So I'll do that in the comment section if you'd like, but I can't do it in my videos because eventually my videos are just gonna become a shout out series, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I absolutely hate shout out series. Sorry, I don't trust them. Mostly they're scams, so sorry. You can send me a private YouTube DM if you really want me to go to a shout out series. I'll check out your channel. So I would recommend you guys. I don't trust them. I don't really trust them. They're gonna ask for your credit card information, okay? Hit the subscribe button. Click click right here, right into this video, and click right here to subscribe. That'd be my tip 11.